Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. Okay, I am so excited to wrap up this series on mastering midlife, and we've been talking about this over the last 3 weeks. We jumped into the destiny dilemma. We've talked about negative mindsets and broken beliefs, and last week we talked about that start-stop syndrome that so many of us struggle with. And so today we're going to wrap it up. So I want to say, number one, thank you for joining me. My name is Amy Ramsey. I am your friend. I love the Lord, and I am a high performance coach. I've partnered that with my passion for a healthy lifestyle. So I'm also an integrative nutrition health coach and a personal trainer. And I've been in the healthy fitness space for most of my adult life. And what I learned is in helping women and serving women for as long as I have, that change is hard, and that more than just knowing something, we should know better and do better, right? But that's not the way it works oftentimes. And that when we're creating new healthy habits in our life for our spirit, for our bodies, for our mindsets, change is hard. And so the more I learned about neuroscience and interweaving that in with my clients, the more transformation I saw. And it just really fueled me to become a high performance coach. And what that means really is that I take a very balanced approach to moving you forward, because you can achieve goals and successes in your life and your life be completely out of balance, and your relationships fall apart, or your health is completely neglected. And so being the high performance coach is keeping all of this together and keeping that successful. So today, I am really excited to talk about this topic, because this is one of the biggest problems that we have for those of us that are women over 40, that want to steward that call of God on our lives. Here's the problem, is unfulfilled potential. Like, it really weighs heavy on us. Am I living up to my potential? Am I doing the things that God wants me to do here on this earth? I mean, there's this oftentimes you feel a stirring, or you feel a call, or you feel passionate about some change that needs to take place, or maybe it's starting something new, or leading a ministry, or taking an initiative to even help maybe even younger people. Any type of change like that at all, can be almost a reluctance to step into a new role because you don't feel like you're equipped, or like you're worthy enough to do that, but you still have that potential sitting inside of you. Past regrets or your failures in your professional life or personal life or spiritual life, even mistakes from the past, leave you feeling like you're disqualified from even pursuing God's call on your life. Also, I would love for you to, if you could safely raise your hand on this one, feeling like right now, even overwhelmed with current responsibilities, the demands of life, of work, of church, or, in your community or whatever, all of the responsibilities that you have. And there's just oftentimes with women, they get distracted with all of those things, and they are unable to even explore. There's no space given to explore the God-given talents and callings. Um, Another problem here in not reaching your full potential is just really undervaluing your worth. What you bring to the table. Go back and listen to the Destiny Dilemma from a couple of podcasts ago. That was that number one problem is Destiny Dilemma is not understanding that in this time, in this season, in this place, whatever it is, wherever I am in my life, that God created me. He created me for purpose. And that my life on this earth is to fulfill that purpose, his calling on my life. And those gifts, those talents, those skills, when they lie dormant inside of us, it just feels terrible. The other thing is just that kind of, like I was just mentioning before, it's just like not having a clear vision for the things of God. Oh man, I was reading in Revelation this morning in the Bible. I can't remember which one it was, but it was talking to, I don't know, a Revelation. I mean, it sounds kind of like it's so over my head. So I don't even know which church they were talking to. I do know it's John, and I know he's talking to certain churches, and I think it was the Church of Laodicea. I could be very wrong on that, but it talked about that church being that lukewarm church, and that you're neither hot or neither cold. I will vomit you out of my mouth. That's what the Lord said. It was like the warning to the church. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, isn't that us? There was another church that John was speaking to, and it said, I have this against you. You've been so busy that you've lost your first love. And I thought, oh my gosh, is that us? Yes, both of those, that we've gotten so busy that we've lost our first love. And may that not be. May that not be us. So this is so interesting. I want to recommend a book for you. I've got my Walkworthy mentorship. We're going through this quarter. It's so dang good. It's John Acuff's book, and it's called All You Need Is a Goal. And he has some super interesting stats on potential. There was a recent study of 3,000 people, and they were asked, are you living up to your full potential? And I want you just to guess. I was like, oh, I bet it was this amount of people. What percentage of people do you think was living up to their full potential? And the answer is 4%. Only 4% felt like they were living up to their full potential, which means 96% of the people in that study didn't feel like they were living up to their full potential. So they went back and they asked those 96% of people, how much of your potential do you feel like you're living up to then? And the average answer is 50%. So 96% of people feel like they are only living up to 50% of their potential. I want you to think about that. He gave this really funny analogy. I thought this was so cute. He goes, it's like coming down for Christmas morning, and you've got all these gifts wrapped up, and they look, it's all exciting. And you're opening your gifts, and you literally you only open up half of your gifts. The other half, you just leave them sitting there. So let me ask you this. What percentage of potential are you living up to? I asked myself that not too long ago. And I know that when I was like phasing into, I was already in midlife, I just didn't know it. But when I was starting to step into what was inevitably going to be empty nest, I started freaking out. I was like, oh, I really was struggling. I went through, I didn't understand it then, but I was starting to go through like an identity crisis. And what I learned through that was a lot. I have learned so much through this whole process that I've kind of been on this whirlwind roller coaster of finding myself in that. I had to go through a lot of healing to find myself. But for a while, I was looking to validate myself and thinking that I needed to prove my worth. So I needed to be successful in these other areas. I'd stayed at home with my kids, and now I've got to like bust it to try to catch up with a career. Anyway, the long and short is I had to learn through a very hard lesson of clinical burnout that what I wanted to do was to reach my potential. And I do believe that our potential is inside of us. There's power inside of us. Like you're created, you're born with this potential. It just needs to be unleashed. And when I started to get sensitive about this and started to ditch my own agenda and put away the worldly distractions and get focused in on, okay, you know what, Lord, I've been trying this on my own and I'm not doing a good job with that. Will you help me with this? And he started to order my footsteps. By the way, that's where Walkworthy was literally born. It was a divine download. My coaching programs, my mentorship called Walkworthy, it's about Ephesians 4:1. I urge you, Paul says, I urge you, brothers, and I like to say sisters there, I urge you, sisters, to walk worthy of the calling for which you were called. Christians have a call of God on their life, period, the end. I was also reading this morning, and I think it was Isaiah. No, it wasn't. It was, I'm going to call myself out. I just went on this, found some scriptures that I was just like, oh, I haven't read them in a while. And they just washed over me with just the holiness of God. Just, it was so powerful. It was a powerful moment this morning. But as I was reading through this morning that, I think it was Isaiah. I'll come back and look. But where he said, I am undone. And anyway, the whole passage was him saying, okay, here I am, Lord, send me. You need somebody to go, here I am. And that's how really we should all be with whatever God's calling us to do. Okay, Lord, where do you want me? Send me. I'm ready to go. But the problem is we're distracted. We don't feel qualified. We don't know our own sense of worthiness, and we get stuck. And that's part of the process is figuring out how do we do that and find that freedom so we can say, okay, Lord, here, that surrendered place to the Lord, because it's in him that we're going to find our satisfaction and fulfillment. And the enemy wants to keep us distracted on that. Wow, I just went on a tangent. That was nowhere near where I was going with all of this. But let me loop back around. Somebody needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Okay, so putting all of this mastering your midlife together. So we started with the destiny dilemma, not having a vision of your own life and understanding your significance and worth that you bring to this world and right now, and how you can impact others right now. Allowing the negative mindsets and the broken beliefs to stop us, to sabotage us, to sit in the fear, to do the things, to not even do the things, move forward in the things that we know. To the start-stop syndrome, massive thing. Just it's like holding us back. We start, we stop, we start, we stop. But what we are called to do is to move forward in our gifts and in our callings. So I love this quote by Leo Buscaglia. I think that's how you say that. Your talents are God's gifts to you, but what you choose to do with them is your gift to God. So how will you walk worthy of the call of God on your life? We all have untapped promise and potential that is inside of us. We get to decide to unleash it and to take steps towards God call on our life requires more than just acknowledgement of it. It actually is a call for action. And in that call for action, here's the thing that I feel like it needs these three things: is a call for action, is a call for guidance, and is a call for community. I want to share with you, just as we're kind of pulling all of this together, is that what we've got with our lives is we're not promised tomorrow. We live in such a dark world. And when we lose sight of the real reason why we're here, we're not walking purposeful. And we're sitting with all that potential. And here's the thing. I'm just on this mission. I'm literally on a mission to activate women, to get them to walk worthy. And so I just want to share a little bit what I believe that can help you with this is you need skills. You need skill development to level up. Sometimes we're fearful to even try new things and to step into new territories because we don't feel qualified. But how do we ever even start to move forward in the things that God's got for us if we don't just start messy, if we don't start to learn how to do it? I mean, the biggest example I've got for you right now is myself. I'm going to write a book. I'm putting it out there. I'm writing a book. And y'all, I'm not the greatest writer. I just, I don't want to speak like negativity, but I'm learning. What am I doing? I'm taking a course right now. I'm learning to refine and hone in on my writing skills. And then I'm just doing it. I'm just writing. And figuring it out. And I have gotten so much better. Listen, when I first started online, I'll never forget my first blog. Number one, it was completely overwhelming. Number two, it's terrible. Like I still have it. I think it's still up on my blog. It was absolutely terrible. I didn't even, I had forgotten every grammatic rule, punctuation rule that I had ever learned. Like my husband would like proof it for me. He was like this was one paragraph and it really should have been like 4 or 5 sentences. And it was just big one rundown sentence. But my point is that we develop skills. And when we can develop those skills and hone in on that and tap into more of that call, what I created to help women do this is a mentorship and a program called Walkworthy. And if you're like, I want to tap into my full potential and I'm feeling stuck, I've got these issues, negative mindsets. I don't know how to get off the stop-start cycle. And I definitely need help in knowing who I am and whose I am, is that I created modules designed for women just like you. It's biblically based. It is also has a community aspect. I feel like we need community around this. And it ensures that you're not just equipped, but that you also optimize every level of the way that God's created you. And align that with your God-given calling. It's an opportunity to level up. The women that are drawn to me are ambitious women. And so this is an opportunity to level up, elevate your spiritual journey, and experience this transformational growth, where you are re-energized, where you can reflect, and where we come together as a group, me as your coach, and I pour over the women that are in that community. Why? Because I believe that when you get yourself in the room where it's elevated, you think higher and your vision of the world expands. And so this is so important to me. I feel like this is my duty and responsibility to provide this opportunity. I've been provided with opportunities of growth through different programs, and I want to create an affordable solution that offers the same thing. Your life, you only get this one life to live. That's it. You only get this one life to live. And I want you to maximize it. Now, so again, Walkworthy is about taking action. Remember, Ephesians 4:1. Here's the cost of inaction. Here's the cost of staying stuck is regret. It's that lingering remorse for missed opportunities. It's that self-doubt, that persistent questioning of, can I do it? Am I worthy of it? It's time lost. We do not get yesterday back. It is gone forever and ever. And we're passing over 40. And so some of us are looking at most of our lives have already been lived. A distance in our walk with the Lord, that spiritual gap from our purpose, disconnected. And the Lord's like, I've called you on purpose for a purpose. Your cost of inaction would also be your diminished self-worth, feeling undervalued and irrelevant. And also just giving way to that anxiety, to that mounting stress from challenges or unresolved challenges, and stunting your growth, your personal growth, your spiritual growth. And it's this stagnation. It's stale. And it's a terrible feeling. And then there's a whole shame cycle in staying stuck. And so I don't want that for you. I want you to get going. I really want you to take an integrative approach to like wholehearted success. Understand that you've got a deep sense of calling, that you have a worthy identity, and that you can have faith-fueled joy. You can have all of these things, that you can trade this survival mode, all of these other things for confidence, joy, and peace. And I would love to show you how I help women do this. And this is in my Walkworthy mentorship. Would love for you to come join us there. It is an incredibly affordable price, and it is a game changer for so many. And all of this can be yours. You will get my step-by-step faith-filled framework. And this transforms your mind and your life. And this, y'all, I'm telling you, it is for less than the price of one latte a day. You can invest in your health, your mindset, and your spiritual growth, and fully walk worthy of that calling. So would love for you to come join me in that. I'd love for you to take action. I would love for you to like go away from this podcast and go, okay, what action am I going to take to walk worthy of my calling? Because here's what I want to remind you. If nothing changes, nothing changes. In your health, in your spiritual life, all the things. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And as I always say, you have but one life to live. Why not maximize it? All right, my friend, I love you. Have an amazing day. Walk worthy today. Bye for now. Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time. Bye-bye.